when I was younger, I would have felt the itch to somehow long to play Augusta National someday. Not really ever taking seriously the idea that I would.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have excited me to dream about. No longer. Except I would love to play this number 12. 150 yards.
Yep.
Water.
Yeah.
Bunker in the front. Today the pin, the Friday pin's like right down the middle. Very little room to go pin seeking on that shot. But the last guy we just watched did it. Howell. Tap in birdie.
Yeah.
McIlroy's in that group. He's close.
I was never serious enough about golf when I was younger to have had the thought. I remember one year, it was a long time ago, Mark Gahn, longtime Bills beat guy with the Buffalo News, won the media lottery or whatever. I remember he stayed behind and played on Monday, I think is how that works. And I thought that was really cool, but I really never thought, like, boy, I'd love to do that, because I've only now gotten to the point where I feel like I'm even competent. And every year, looking at this golf course, the once a year we get to look at it, there's always a camera angle somewhere, or like yesterday or today, where I just see the change in terrain, even on a green, and just think, nope. Like
you don't want to walk up those hills?
I don't want to walk up those hills. I don't want to putt on those greens.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
How often do you see, guys that are like the best players in the world? I saw like 3 or 4 guys today hit putts, and it's like, man, that was awful. And like, I wonder if I could break 100 if you put me at the edge of every green.
Brian,
I really do.
What would you shoot if we put you in regulation on the farthest part away of the green from the hole?
Right.
But you're there in regulation. So 2 putt every hole, you shoot 72. What would you shoot? Brian's better golfer than I am. Probably, maybe you too.
Way better than me.
So
yes.
I'm allowed to start on the farthest point away on the green from the pin. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like if you did that, 3 putting every green would be good.
So if I could average a 3 putt, that essentially mean I'd be what?
You'd shoot 90.
Under par. Yeah, that would win the tournament.
No, you'd shoot 90. If you
count the strokes to have gotten
I
there,
understand.
right? Yeah.
I thought you were letting me take stroke 1 from there. I'm thinking I think I could pull this off with some hesitation.
Here's the question.
I'm thinking there's going to be some holes that I put it off and I'll 5 putt or 6
it goes into a creek or something, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
You do that at least once.
Right, for sure.
All right, so maybe this is the question for we amateurs, not again, Brian I think is a cut above. But you're on the very edge of the green, far away from the hole, every hole in regulation. Would you break 100? Would you be able to 3-putt every green to shoot 90? Or would you have a couple blow-ups and then... if you put it into Rays Creek, you have to play it from there. You don't get to play it from the edge of the green again. You got to chip on.
Right. Yeah.
You can't not bring your wedge.
I don't think I would. I think I would easily go over 100.
Man. I'd like to think that is this the first time I get to ever putt on these holes? There's no practice in front of it?
How easy do you need me to make this for you?
Right.
Man.
We're already getting you on every green in regulation.
Right.
I think I would probably oh man, could I yeah, I think
you could
I think you
could do it.
Yes.
You know why I think you could do it? Because even if you did get in trouble, the reason I think I would easily go over 100 is because as soon as I am in the creek and I got to pull that wedge out, that could be 5 more strokes for me.
Right.
Whereas you, Brian, I think you're good enough. Not that you couldn't have had a bad shot, but you would be able to get that close and probably get down in 2 more putts. Whereas I might be in another hazard on the other side of the green now, and I just think even being there in regulation. Scores of 10 are not out of the question for me, I think, is what I'd have to admit.
10s. Wow.
You're totally right, though, Chris, from being there in person, I will say that the areas around the greens are just ridiculous. These complexes of the undulation, the bunkers, they look innocent because they're all pretty looking and raked perfectly, but they're not. They're so challenging. And some of these greens, if you miss it if you're off by like 1 yard, it can roll all the way off or all the way to the one side or the other. That's why I think precision with your irons are just so important on approach shots here. I I would love to figure out, like, okay, how far back of a yardage would I have to play here? I mean, I don't know. To win, could I do it from 100 in? Could I do it from the edge of the green? I don't know. But you'd have to still end up, a winning score in this tournament is still usually 10, 12 under par. So,
right.
I mean, I'd still have to make Bert, even if you let me start, right on the green already. I still have to make putts, which I'd probably be putting so tentatively. It would take me, but by the time I actually got used to it, I would be out of holes.
Right.
Yeah. I like that you're putting this in a framework where it's like actually winning the Masters. I respect that.
Right. I'm just trying to break 100.
I want the jacket if I'm there,
Play for the jacket. Somewhere Matthew Collar is out there in the world listening to this being like, Schopp, you bleeping idiot. Because Matt always wants to tell you that you could never take a point off Serena Williams. You could never score a basket in a real basketball game. Like, he loves to make that point, and I love him for that. This is a little different because nobody's blocking your putts.
There's no elite world-class athlete in your way.
No.
There's just a golf course.
I'm not trying to beat Rory McIlroy. I just want to know if I could break 100 if you put me on the edge of the green in regulation on every hole. That's all I want to know.
And Bulldog, you said you could play first for the Red Sox for an inning, right? You said that.
That's a throwback.
20 years ago,
okay.
I said that.
See, I remember.
But I could still, yes, right. I thought, obviously, I'm not going to be able to hit. Just for everyone out there that doesn't remember,
Defense.
20 years ago, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to stand there, and I'm telling you, I know a line drive could come at my face and I could die because my reflexes are going to be so slow. Just saying, I think I could get through an inning running to first base and turning around to catch the ball coming over from third.
You know what's funny about that, though, now, 20 years later, is, it seems that Parker is holding the runner on at first, which is interesting because there's no runner at first.
Right, he's just
why is he guarding the line
at the bag?
Why is he guarding? Right. He doesn't want to have to run those 10 feet.
And that all, it's so incredible to me, Brian, that you remember me talking about that. I now realize how absolutely absurd it was even then. I could have been in the best shape of my life. And I think I would stick out like a sore thumb. I'd be getting to the bag, and that ball coming from third would be hitting me in the back of the head because I wouldn't be there and turned around yet. I just would be too slow.
You have to guard the line.
I'd have to stay very near the bag.
Brian, could you go 2 months without starting and make a 37-save shutout like Colton Ellis last night? Would that be something you think you could do? I know. Sorry.
No.
But how about that?
I would not put that high on my list. No.
How about that?
That was incredible. What a scene last night. For those that I don't know what the TV showed at the end because obviously I'm watching it from the press box, but like the scene of Tuck and Malenstein and I think Benson. There was 4 Sabres by the edge.
I think was there.
Yeah. And they're banging their stick for the curtain call for Ellis to come back out to take another little bow to the crowd. I mean, how cool was that? Luukkonen, I thought was going to fall off the bench when Ellis made a save with about 3 minutes to go and he held on and the crowd went crazy. He's literally like diving over the boards, banging his waffle on the wall, like firing him up and like, let's go. And the whole bench was into it. They wanted that shutout for Colton Ellis. I mean, they've been talking about what a great teammate he is and how likable he is and how hard he works. And Lindy said as the third goalie, how he's handled it so perfectly. Man, if there was that willpower to get him that shutout last night, like blocking shots as if the Stanley Cup Game 7 is on the line there. Like that's how it felt last night in that third period.
Yep, that's absolutely how it looked, for sure. And yeah, just further evidence of what we have been hearing about for months, how tight this group is and how much they care for one another. I mean, yeah, there's the third string goalie. And, not knowing, like we're not privy to all this maybe ahead of time. I mean, I didn't think they didn't like the guy, but we were talking yesterday about UPL, whether, we're still in a race for the division. What are we doing here? And like, how does the team even feel about it? And to go out and help him get that, but really for him to backstop them like he did with 37 saves in a game that was 1-0 for, most of the time of the game. The Sabres scored early enough to get the lead, and then it was just hold on until, 12 minutes left in the third, and was when Doan scores, I think, that second goal. So they really are, like, the evidence is irrefutable. Like, if they're dug in for the third-string goalie like that, this is a special group, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're going to go to bat for each other when it comes to the things that need to be successful in that area in the playoffs. Like it's there. I feel like they've gotten a little bit of their mojo back this week. Lindy said about them playing Tampa that, hey, that maybe was what we needed to kind of just remind us of the intensity and the energy that we need to play at. Because there was a little slip of it a little bit, I would say, for about maybe a week and a half to a 2-week period there as we entered April or late March. But they've gotten it back. Their third periods this week have been money. Like the 41-game stretch where they were so historically great, and we compared them to some of the best ever. Part of that was how great they were in third periods, either finding a way to hold on to a lead or finding a way to get the lead. This week, no goals against in all 3 periods in the games against the Tampa, the Rangers, and of course yesterday, and one shot against the Rangers in that game. So they really last night they shut it down, and then of course, as soon as they got that second goal, Columbus kind of had to open things up a little, and then you could tell, like, okay, now Buffalo can get what they want to do offensively, and that was where the offense exploded. So, yeah, Doan and Benson and Krebs, I mean, all these hard-working players all doing their thing and on display all within the game last night. They've got themselves in a really, really good spot now, thinking, hey, now we're playing exactly how we want to going into the postseason.
Brian, try this on. I said earlier that the Doan play that led to the second goal might be my favorite play. It might be most emblematic of their season so far, because I think what has most notably changed about them is how hard they work to defend. And that play was Doan chasing down a puck carrier in the neutral zone and just stripping it from him. And going in, basically on a breakaway and just gunning it home, beating the goalie clean. But the first part of that act is the thing that I think makes the Sabres so dangerous, is that, the most annoying guy you can ever play hockey against isn't, in my opinion, the most talented guy necessarily. Yeah, they can embarrass you and make you look stupid by skating around you and whatever, right? Making great moves on you. The guy that never gives up is the most annoying guy to play against. Like, I already stick-handled by you once. Why are you back again? And that quintessentially to me is Doan, and that was that play last night.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like this team, even when they're beat, they have got each other's back. They're helping each other out. They're back checking. They're making those steals. That play that Doan makes right there. I mean, just to come in, spin around to turn his what looked like him skating away from the play, going to one end, and now turning around and then coming back and stealing the puck and then turning it right into offense instantly. And that shot was beautiful to beat Greaves, who I thought was very good in the game, really up until that point. I mean, Greaves has been, in his 3 starts coming in, he had excellent numbers against the Sabres. So I thought, like, geez, even though Columbus, in terms of shot attempts and shots, they were definitely ahead of Buffalo through the first 40 minutes, I wasn't upset with maybe what some of the looks Buffalo was getting, and Greaves was good. But that was a great play from Doan that obviously opened it up. That gave him the 2-goal lead, and it was on from there. I feel like Tuck last night had a couple of plays like that. Power did, where they're just, even when a guy gets beat or makes a mistake, like, it literally a half a second later, there's a Sabre jersey there to make up for it or to get the puck right back. It's good team hockey for sure.
They've scored so many of these goals almost the same way, where it's just like a quick wrist shot from the high slot. Goalie's just maybe slightly off his spot through the arm, or just in that, that perfect spot there above the stick glove or below the stick glove above the pad.
Right.
Like, a lot of these goals have been, even from either side, similar looking. With Brian Koziol. Brian, last thing for me on the Sabres. Do you think they've got it? So it's 106 with 2 left, Chicago and Dallas. Montreal has 104 with 3 left, Columbus tomorrow. And then I just forgot 2 games. And then Tampa 102 at Boston, Detroit, and the Rangers. The Canadians it's back-to-back. Maybe they're at the Islanders and Flyers. That's it. So it's Columbus at home tomorrow night, at the Island Sunday, then at Philadelphia maybe Tuesday. And the Sabres have the Canadians on ties. Do you think they've got it? You want to say that?
Yeah, I feel like they do. Playing a team that's eliminated, I guess you could say you could label them dangerous, but Chicago seems to be just totally done for the season. They've been going backwards for the last 2 weeks. So I feel like, as long as Buffalo does what they want to do right away to get a lead, I think Chicago will go away. Dallas may have nothing to play for. They came back last night in the third to beat Minnesota, so that gave them a 4-point gap. So if they can maintain that 4-point gap going into the Sabre game, the last one, then
they're
you may see
bulletproof.
Dallas rest some players too. That could benefit them.
Sorry to jump in. I think if Dallas beats the Rangers in Dallas tomorrow, they'll be locked in as the 2.
They've got, they have the regulation win tiebreaker. So
all they have to do is win against the Rangers in Dallas tomorrow at 5. They can't catch the Avs. So then they're done in the standings.
Yep.
I was trying to talk out a scenario last night on the air on postgame about could Buffalo clinch it on Monday if these weekend games all go regulation losses. They could, right?
Sure. By Monday, the Canadians will have 1 game left.
Because they could lose twice, and Tampa obviously could lose to Boston tomorrow.
If they lose once, well, it won't be over. But yes, that's right. And Tampa will have 2 games left, but they're 4 points behind. So yeah, that's possible, I think.
Yeah, so there is a scenario where they could go into Monday thinking, hey, we win the division. And we talked yesterday so much why maybe getting a wild card team in Boston could be a big advantage. But Montreal and Tampa last night, I had my iPad with the game on because I actually was the opening segment of postgame. I was trying to be as eloquent as I could about Colton Ellis's night. At the same time, I'm watching Tampa scored. And I'm like, oh my, what's going on? And then 30 seconds later, Montreal scored, and I was very much on air for those that were listening. Definitely distracted by that as it was going on. I'm like doing play-by-play of Montreal Tampa, trying to tell you how great Ellis was to open up postgame. If those two could play, and then arguably, obviously, you're knocking one out, but maybe it's such a physical battle that the second round, if you want to actually look ahead to that, I guess that could benefit Buffalo, I guess, in some capacity. I know I'm looking way ahead here, which is probably not the right thing to do, but if those two could match up, I mean, in the entire conference, I know, they don't reseed, which, again, is a stupid thing, but other than Carolina, I like the teams that I would want to avoid. Like if they could play each other in the first round with Montreal and Tampa, like I think that's obviously the most beneficial for the Sabres.
Yeah, everybody has a problem with Tampa, including the Canadians.
I know. I want to say like a month ago or whenever before the 8-7 game, right? I'm like, I was talking about them sort of almost with a reverence. Like they're going to come in here and probably try to push you around because I've seen them do this with Florida, and this is how they do it. And sort of it's respectable. I think they've devolved into like a clown show watching the highlights of last night's game in Montreal. The stuff with Perry and Lane Hudson, I mean, dude, Perry. Like what? I think it's embarrassing at this point. I think that how they're handling themselves on the ice. It has shifted. This is, obviously the bias of the Sabres being in contention with them and whatever. It's emotional now. I just think they look like a bunch of bozos.
Oh, bozos. I love that word. I don't disagree. Let's get the Masters in. The last few minutes here. In terms of the tournament.
Wait, talking about whether one of us could win the tournament or break 100 from being on the green. Wasn't talking about the Masters. Sorry.
That's fair. It wasn't talking about bozos either. Rory McIlroy in front, 7 under. Patrick Reed -6. Rose, Burns, Jason Day -5. What's the story of the tournament so far? It's probably either DeChambeau and Rahm kind of blowing it, but McIlroy being in the lead again, Brian, trying to defend.
Yeah, we know it has only happened 3 other times. Very tough to go back to back, and he's got himself in position to do that. I mean, it looks like because he's got some more scoreable holes coming up here that there's going to be a very good chance that he'll be in the final pair going into tomorrow, which gives us that storyline. I think it would be great if Rose and McIlroy were together,
right.
Because it's the rematch of last year's playoff essentially too, and they're so close and they're such good friends, and there's a little dynamic there. Although Reed is the evil villain, and if you remember Reed and McIlroy when they played the singles match in the Ryder Cup from years ago, they had gotten it to the point of almost insane levels with the crowd and their interaction there. So that could be interesting as well. If those two end up being paired together. Not that it's a match play or anything like that, but there's some good storylines in there too. Rose is just, to me, is so steady. I still want to think like if there's any real threat to McIlroy, it's right there. Rory's been a little less accurate today with some shots into the green, but he's still putting outstanding. Anytime it looks as though like there's an opportunity for him to maybe drop a shot, he's making these clutch putts for pars to kind of keep it alive. So I like the way he's playing. Hatton had a really good stat today, who's up to -4 now. 18 of 18 greens in regulation. That's very, very impressive.
Oh.
Only the third golfer since 1997 to play around were 18 for 18 in terms of green and regulation.
And that's what the three of us just did in our scenario.
Yes. That's
18 for 18.
That's right.
McIlroy, no one in my opinion is more popular than McIlroy. Reed went to college in Augusta. He's won the tournament. American. I mean, it's not a raucous crowd or anything, but I don't know. McIlroy will still be I think
think
the fan favorite. Everybody loves Rose too, but Rory's tough to beat in that area.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the top 10, if you said like who's the crowd favorite, I think it has to be Rory. I don't see anybody else there that's getting past him. Even though, like you said, are there American golfers in there? I don't think Burns is doing that, or Wyndham Clark or anything along those lines. So
no one in the whole field,
yeah.
I might say.
At Fleetwood last year was very, very much a good story that fans rallied behind, because remember, he was trying to get his first PGA Tour win, and then he had a couple of, let's just face it, chokes.
Yep.
And he was emotional about it, and eventually he came through, and then he won the FedEx Cup, and that was a really nice way for him to end the season. And now he's up to 6 under. I just saw he just made an eagle. So he now is in contention. So I guess, for our bet, Tommy Fleetwood is going to be my fan favorite rooting interest.
We were worried about him 2 hours ago, but yeah, I mean, that's to be taken seriously for sure. All right, tomorrow morning, Brian, right? 7?
Yep, 7 to 9 tomorrow, 2 hours,
right.
And we'll be at Pendleton Creek tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that.
And you got to play a little bit today before the rain came in?
Yeah, I went over there after I did a segment with Sal, and from around 11 o'clock and walked 9 holes. It's nice to go and walk. I feel like every year I should walk more playing, and the carts that are available, and I just grab them and I go, and I'm like, when I walk today, I was just like, I should walk a lot more. So please hold me to that if we're playing together.
You got to come out and play with us on any day at Delaware, and you can walk. I love walking now.
I think I play better because I think there's that time in between.
Yes.
You're not like rushing up to the shot, or if you're driving. I know you're not rushing.
And
you can only go so fast,
less confusion tracking your ball, right? What happens to me when I'm playing, whoever I'm playing with, if I go right and they go left, we're going to go to the one on the left, and now I sort of lost the line on where mine was, and you're driving around in circles. So if you're walking, you know where your ball went. You walk towards where your ball should be. You don't always find it, but usually you do. It's just easier to keep track of everything, I find.
There's probably also less beer.
Way less beer.
When you're walking.
Like none. I never bring beer with me when I'm walking.
All right, Brian, let's catch up on Monday. Hockey game, and then we'll wrap this tournament up.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.